All right, here is a new toy from a new toy line, from a toy line that you've already seen featured on my channel before. This is from Mechazone. It's one of his Predator figures, and this is FANGAR, the Conspirator. And basically, like, this is, like I said, it's from Mechazone, David White over at Mechazone. He does these really cool little figures, and this is the first one I've managed to pick up because they're generally small runs, and this one I made sure to know when the drop went live, because this guy is part of the, as I mentioned, previously seen on my channel, RoboForce line from ToyFinity, the GLaDOS compatible line. Now, FANGAR is not GLaDOS compatible. One of the specific care instructions is don't pop this guy apart because the ball joints will loosen up over time. He is, however, based on a prototype figure that was never released in the old RoboForce line. And he was a little blockier like this, and you can kind of see that on the card header art that he comes in. Like, here's the new Mechazone or FANGAR, and like here's kind of what his head looked like in the old RoboForce body over here. Because the old RoboForce line, if you remember me talking about it, they had these kind of hose-like arms with claws on the end of them, and there was a little like lever on the back you could push down, and when you did that, there were a couple of little pieces that, you know, just tension-wise, when you push down that button, it would make the arms grab. So like it made sense for them to design a figure that was kind of snake-like with the kind of the hose-like arm, grabby arms, which are kind of replicated here on the FANGAR figure with multiple ball joints. So yeah, there he is with Max and hun-dred from ToyFinity. This is the Ultimate Max, and this is a custom build hun-dred I made from several different sets to get the right colors to look like the old toy. But yeah, it's really cool because, again, he's got multiple joints down his arms, so you can give him that kind of grasping motion, and it really gives him a lot more expressivity. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm using it in action figure mode. And what's cool about these is, like I said, this is my first time messing with a production quality one. I've seen the Predanauts and the Micronauts, and they look really cool. I just haven't been fast enough to get one, or I forget when they're going live, and by the time I get there, they're sold out. They're 3D printed toys, and if you look at it, you'll notice it looks like a production figure, because I think it's acetone or something, but I know they're all done up by hand, or finished by hand. They're 3D printed, and then, like I said, I think it's acetone that gives them kind of a bath in, and it smooths out, so you don't see, I mean, if you look really close, you can kind of see a few places where you can see the remnants of that 3D printing process. You can kind of see the striations in it that is typical on a 3D printed figure, and this doesn't really have those because they're professionally finished by hand, again, which is why they're limited runs. And it's really nice. It feels like an actual little action figure. He's got a head swivel here, so he can swivel back and forth with his fangs and seek out his prey. He's got ball joint shoulders. Of course, ball joints all the way down the arm, down to the little blaster on the forearm. He's got a waist swivel. He's got ball joint hips here. And I like the design. I like that you can kind of see the joint through the leg piece, and it gives a whole range of motion there. He's got hinge knees, and then he's got a ball joint foot, so you can get a lot of decent poses out of his feet as well. So yeah, it's a nice little piece of RoboZone history. It was an unreleased RoboForce figure. And did I say RoboZone? RoboForce history. And and it's cool to see him. He'll go on display with all my other RoboForce figures. If you follow my Twitter, I posted a picture of all the RoboForce figures I have to date. And there's a lot, and I think Cruel's about to go up for pre-order soonish on the ToyFinity website. But yeah, he comes in like a little, what I like about this, he comes with like a custom bag header, and then the bag itself is like a Ziploc style bag, so you don't have to destroy the packaging if you want to keep him like this or put him back into it later in order to get him out. I know some of the GLaDOS stuff just comes in like a plain plastic bag that you kind of got to rip open, and there's nothing wrong with that because I don't really want to put my GLaDOS figures back in their bags when I open them, but it's nice to see that on the packaging. Also included in there was a little Mechazone logo sticker, and then a Mechanauts sticker, and nice quality stickers too. They have a vinyl-y feel to them, so high production value on those. And he also comes with a little pamphlet here. It's just printed on one page and folded in half. There's nothing on the inside, but basically just here's kind of a bio for FANGAR the Conspirator as a Predanaut. Here's the concept art for the figure before it came out. And then there's a little congratulations on buying it, and the story of the collaboration between Mechazone and ToyFinity. Some handling and care, where you learn a little bit about the production process and how to take care of it, and if it breaks, who to contact. And then contact stuffs for Mechazone and David, and where you can find their products and things like that. So it's a cool little package. It all comes in there. And like I said, then you get the FANGAR figure, which again is a nice little addition to my ToyFinity RoboForce lineup on my shelf. I mean, it's cool because, like I said, you can get a lot of range of motion with all those joints in his arms. You can have him being all threatening. You can have him reaching out to grasp somebody because of all the posability in his ankle tilts. I love this one. I love it that you can kind of fold his. I was doing this because I had him kind of doing looking over at you and firing with his main blaster, but then he had a sneaky blaster behind his back. But you can actually give him kind of that commander so-and-so walking down the hallway talking to a subordinate, hands behind his back type of pose. And like, for some reason, that's when I love the figure anyway, but that's what sealed the deal for me on this, is when I figured I could have him in kind of one of those contemplating, like, well, next time you're out in the field, make sure you get out there and shoot all the bad guys instead of just the good guys. Like, just that contemplative pacing pose. I don't know why it amuses me so much, but I like that you can do that with him very easily with his long, snaky arms. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to be more vigilant about Predanaut and Mechanaut releases on the Mechazone site, because this is actually... I look at this and I can't believe it's 3D printed until I look really, really close and see just those few little spots where, like, you can kind of see a little leftover, you know, evidence of the striation of 3D printing. It looks like an action figure, and it feels like an action figure, like a mass production buy off the shelf figure, which is just really cool. And it plays into that whole thing of, like, just what fans can do and make possible these days. I love stuff like this because it all comes back to, like, people who have a passion for making these things and seeing them become a reality. And it's, with 3D printing and some of these, you know, and like the Glio system, it just opens up a whole lot of new avenues for both nostalgia and new characters for people to see their vision come out. Like, and you don't have to find a way into one of the few major toy line companies or anything these days. You can just make it happen. And seeing all these people put out such cool stuff is just really inspiring. I'm glad to see it. And plus we get these cool little things like this out of it. So even as a fan, despite having no really design skill of my own, I still get to reap the benefits of all of this new technology that's making it easier for this stuff to hit the market. There is a little MZ, a little Mechazone logo hidden on his backpack here. You can see the MZ, which is kind of cool. So yeah, like I said, these I'm pretty sure are sold. Actually, I know these are sold out. But keep an eye over on the Mechazone store and website, and you can follow him on Twitter. I think it's at Mechazone. It's actually right here on the back of this. Instagram and Twitter at Mechazone. Oh, you can't even see that. There we go. So yeah, keep an eye over there, because like I said, the Predanauts are really cool. They did some pizza knots, which I think some of the pizza knots are still available. There's a Terror, like a pterodactyl-based looking purple Predanaut that I really want to get my hands on if they ever do a reissue of that. But it's very Microman inspired in some of the designs, but it just looks like a whole lot of fun. And now that I've got FANGAR in hand, it's definitely a place I'm going to be keeping my eye on, because this little guy is cool. So there it is, Predanaut FANGAR, the Conspirator, from ToyFinity and Mechazone. Mechazone makes it in a collaboration with ToyFinity's RoboForce line. He is, like I said, an unreleased figure from the old RoboForce line, and it's cool to see him finally get his day in the spotlight.